So as I have my file opened up, I can hear it and I can also pause it and remove it at the same time. If I take this photo over here, it will look very short because we have our audio, which is quite long. So that is why this is how I play it up. So this is how it looks like. We can also remove it however I want to. Let's just press on delete. And you can also see these options over here. From here, you'll be able to import it up too. Let me just show you the more easier methods of how you'll be able to import up your medias into. So there we go. We have our resources. What you can do is that if you want to start working directly, you can take it directly over here into the timeline panel, but you can also take it to the project panel. So you can take it directly over here. And this is how it works. You don't even have to worry about finding your own import folders and all of them. So let's start off with the interface over here. This is basically called the import panel. From here, you'll be able to import up all of the resources which you need to import to start work your on project. So at the left sides, we have our favorite section. So you will have your sample medias or your favorite sample medias. Then we have our local, which drive you have. So from there, you'll be able to select up which drive or which folder you have your resources in. Then we have our devices, which is going to be the exact drive. Let's say C, A, D, E, whatever drives you have, you'll be able to get access from here. Then you also have access to your OneDrive. If you want to connect it to Google Drive, it will not work. But OneDrive, it is connected with the OS, so you'll be able to use OneDrive only. Okay. Then we have which folders we're using, which files we have over here. You can also increase or decrease the size of how you want to view it up. Okay, so it's basically up to you how you want to work with it. You can also hide it up, and also you can see which type of formats you want to use. Panasonic, P2, DPX, Canon. Then we have Sony. All of them over here, you'll be able to use them up and also filter it out, so you can find out the one which you exactly need. You can also search up for the resources, which files you want to use or which ones you want to search up for. So all the files will be over here, and on the right side of our panel, you will find out the import settings. Now, if you want to import the settings up, let's say the organization media or organized media, you can add to new bins. You can also name the bin, and you can also customize it up. If you want to copy media, turn on copy media, and you can copy it with MD as verification, and also you can keep it same as project so that your quality does not drop any bit. Then we have is create new sequence. So sequence is kind of very important. Sequence 4, sequence 1, whichever one you prefer. Let's say sequence 1. So sequence is kind of like a composition which you make all of them together into a video, because the rest of the medias are one file each. But when you want to, let's say, import them, how are you going to import it? You cannot import them individually. So if you keep all of them into one sequence, you'll be able to keep the sequence and you'll be able to remove up the other medias. Okay, so it takes up a lot of less time and a lot of less space too. Then we have is automatic transcription. You can also apply a bit of transcription. You can apply if you want English, if you want different language, you can select it from here. Okay. Then we have is enable language auto detection. It is a kind of like an AI feature of Adobe Premiere Pro, is because from here you will be able to use our enabled language auto detection. It's going to just detect up which language you're speaking, and then you will be able to transcribe it, apply subscription, or apply, just titles, however you prefer. And then we have is the transcription preferences. From here you'll be able to auto transcribe only clips in sequence. So find out the one which you want to use, and then you're good to go. Okay. And the top part, which is kind of similar on all platforms, edit, export. Okay, you can see it over here on each and every platform. So first thing, I'm going to go off to import and let's show it to you. So this is kind of like the workspaces, quick export, open progress dashboard. From here you'll be able to see what work is being rendered, and we have full screen video. So basically we are done with our import section or our import platform of Adobe Premiere Pro. So let's move on to our edit, which is one of the most important thing and one of the most vital part about Adobe Premiere Pro. Okay. So we've also shown you how you'll be able to import up medias in two different ways. one from import and one directly into edit. Okay. So on the left side of our section, we have our effects control panel, which helps you to apply whatever effects you want to apply. Let's say I'm going to take my video over here, and there we go. So from here, you'll be able to use whatever effects you want to use, and you can also customize it however you want to. Now, it's not just effects or filters. You will also have transform, rotation, anchor points, and basic transitions. All of them will be available over here. You can also apply in different type of elements, different type of features, different type of effects and filters directly from this platform. Then we have this audio clip mixer. It's going to help you to fix up your audios from the left side to the right side. If you're using a headphone, you'll be able to customize it very easily from this section. Then we have is the metadata. So what do you think about metadata? So basically, metadata is every information about any specific photo, any specific video, or any specific file. So let's say, what type of information is it? So it could be either the location, which date and time it was, made, when was it last edited, then what is the time, duration, what type of color format, color preference, what type of color layout it is using. Every information about any specific resource is called its metadata. So you can see over here on the specific video, we have our metadata. So it has 25 frames, which is an MP4 file, 25 frames over here. Media starts at this time and media ends at 10 seconds, 6 milliseconds, and media duration is 10 seconds, 7. And you can see over here video in point and out point, everything you need to know about this video, the resolution, the video usage, the tape name. Then we have is the file path, the status, everything over here is called the metadata. Then we have is the source. If you want to use source, you can also do that. So if you want to find out what it is using as the source, so you'll be able to do that. But as I got this from Pixels and I've already used that, so there we go, we have no clips on our source. Okay, so there we go, we have that section totally done. And you can also use the source section as my different or my secondary preview panel. So let's go off the text over here, and from here on our text, you'll be able to apply any type of customizations from your text section. So you can see over here, we have transcript. You can transcript it up. You can apply captions. You can even apply graphics from this section, and you can see how easy it is to apply from Adobe Premiere Pro. You can also zoom in and out if you want to do that. You can sort that out over here. You can create new caption track. You can import caption track if you want to. If you have a caption track or if you have a caption file, you can apply it directly into your file. But if you don't want to, you can just go off the transcript, and you can also make up your own caption if you want to. It's going to just generate the captions. Okay, so there we go. We have all of them over here, and all those sections are almost done over here. Then at the bottom, we can see over here, which we started off with, is called our project panel. So all of the projects or all of the resources will first off appear on the section of Adobe Premiere Pro. You can search on them if you want to, however you prefer. You can zoom in and out. You can see different type of views and project. What type of project is this? Is it only viewable or is it editable? You'll be able to see that from this section too. Then we have is our media browser. You'll be able to get those resources and import them up from this section too. And on our libraries, we have a couple of different type of extensions if you apply or if you want to work with it. And if you have already downloaded them, you'll be able to explore your library and use them up however you prefer. So basically, why are extensions used? Extensions are used mostly to increase your functionality of your software. Okay, so there we go. We have our info. Then we have our effects. So all those effects and presets will be over here. And now it does not only have just video video transitions or video presets or video effects. It also has audio effects. Then we have over here video effects, presets, and also even transitions. So you can get through them step by step. Then we have is the marker, which will help you to point out certain parts of the video or your composition. Then we have our history. Whatever you do over here on your workspace, everything will be recorded. So if here, and if I cut this part, let's say I'm gonna do is going to be apply a splice. So if I want to apply a splice, first thing what I have to do is I'm going to select on that link selection, turn that off, and over here I'm going to do is going to be cut this part up. And you can see at the top we have also sliced it up. Okay, so this is how easy and this is how it will work. You can see sequence over here. If I cut it over here again, and it will apply another slice. Okay, so this is basically how it works. You can see razor over here. It will, apply more and more however I prefer. So you can check out what you've done on your work or on your project. And you can also close each and every one of them however you prefer. So let's go off the workspace over here, and you can see we have editing. You can also change up to different type of workspaces. You can also click on this over here, go off the workspaces, and you have all panels. So if I click on all panels, all of the panels will be available, and this is what I use most of the time, but this was also kept on editing. You can also try using that if you prefer. And I also use essentials. Sometimes you can also go off the essentials. This is kind of like very classic, so you can try using that if you want to. And this is kind of more beginner friendly because it has really less tools available over here, and also really less workspace. We have our toolbar over here, we have our sounds, and we also have our videos. So it's kind of very simple to get, more familiar with this interface. If you want to use it, it's basically up to you, but I most of the time just try using all because all is more helpful for me, and I have been working on that most of the time. So you can try using that. So you can see it over here. There we go. So we have our all panels opened up. Now what I'm going to be doing is going to be showing you a bit more about the workspace. So we have all of them over here. You can also close up certain panels whenever you want to. You can also import, export, and all of them. You can do that directly from your workspace. Now at the bottom, we have our timeline panel, and right beside it, we have our toolbar in this section. Then we have our library, so all of them is kind of, more different right now. And we have our preferences, our reference, and also we have our composition, our so-called our sequence. Okay, so now as we are done with most of our workspace, platforms, now let's move on to our ribbons. On our ribbons, we have a couple of them over here. First off, we have the file ribbon. It's going to help you to open up more projects. If I want to open up new one, let's say I'm going to click on new project, and you'll be able to start off another one. Let's say I'm going to go off the downloads again, select the files, and I'll be able to work on that again. Create, press on replace, and there we go. We have created ourselves another project. So it will take a bit of time to, just open up onto my workspace. So make sure to use that, or make sure to try fiddling through these options and apply these settings and make yourself a new project. And you can see when I try to make another one, you'll basically see another pop-up section will open up, which will tell you to save up your project if you want to. But as I don't want to, you can see I have just made myself another, and I'm going to take up the files into my workspace. So 3 of them over here, and I'll be able to take them into my timeline panel and work on them however I prefer. Now you can see we have our, preview panel. It will help you to see or preview your composition and however you're editing all the effects. You'll be able to see the changes from this section. Okay. You can also zoom in and out on this section over here on the project panel too, and you can see all of them over here. Okay. So let's move on to that one. On our file ribbon, we will have new, open, recent, close project, save as, Adobe Dynamic Link, import, export, properties, project settings, project manager, and exit. On our edit section, we have undo, redo, cut, copy, paste. Then we have is remove, clear, ripple, duplicate, selection. Then we have is find, spelling, remove, unsend, consolidate, team project, edit original, keyboard shortcuts, and preferences. Well, I'm going to be showing you preferences at the end. On our clips, we'll have rename, subclip, everything about clips. You will find it over here. Modification, speed, insert, override, replace. Then we have, audio waveforms, enable, link groups, all of them. And on our sequence, we have render, effect in and out, match frames, add, edit, go to, gap, zoom in and out, normalize, delete, caption. On our markers, we have mark in and out, mark clip, mark selection, go to in, clear out, add markers, show all markers, all about the markers which you need to know about. Graphics and titles, we have add fonts, Adobe fonts, new layers, aligns, selection, upgrade to source graphic and all, reset all parameters, reset duration, and all of those over here. On our view section, you'll be able to see all, the viewing options in Adobe Premiere Pro. And on our windows, we have all the windows. Now, what are windows? Let me just show it to you or give you an example. So let's say I have closed in my library. So close the library. Now, how will I be able to get it back? So go off the windows over here and I'm going to search up for libraries and just click on that and it will just open up onto your workspace. It might take a bit of time. Let's just click on libraries again. And you can see it has still didn't open up. So I'm going to click on that. Press on window. You can see when I've clicked on library, it has already opened up. And you can also close it up directly from this section too. So every section or every tool group which you see over here is called a window. So you can take them out from your workspace too and use it wherever you want to as a free section. So I'm going to do is going to be selecting or increasing the size up so that we can see our library. You can also increase and decrease the sizes if you want to. So basically we're done with this section over here, or our editing section. Let's go off to export, and from here you will be able to export it up in every place you want to. From here you'll be able to see the source over here. You can see the preview, you can scale it up. You can also name it up, see the location, the preset, the format, the video, audio, multiplier, all of them over here. You can just fiddle through them if you want to. There are a couple of these options which you will find out over here. And we have our destination. If you want to publish them up to, it's also up to you. So basically now you know everything you need to know about Adobe Premiere Pro and its interface. Now the last thing which we're going to show you is going to be the preferences. So let's go off the general over here first, and all of them will open up. So the first thing which you need to do over here when you open up or start working with Adobe Premiere Pro is that first off, go off to control surface or graphics. Now on the graphics, make sure to select on ligatures and also an abstract groovy, or that's basically up to you. These are basically fonts. So on text styling, keep it on ligatures, and over here on audio hardware, keep it something like this. Okay, however you prefer latency to be 200 and clock to be this one if you prefer. And obviously go off the graphics. You can see the graphics if you want to, but if you want to go off the media, then keep it. If you want it 60, you can keep it 60, but if you are making movie type of videos or a couple of short, let's say commercials, I would suggest you keeping it on 24 or 25. It will help you a lot more, but you can also change it to 60 whenever you prefer. Okay, so you can see you can just fiddle through these options over here, control surface and all of them, auto save and audio appearance, and the last thing is general over here. On our general, you're going to keep all of them turned on and press on OK so that you get the best optimized workspace. Okay, so thank you for watching this video up till the very end. And as this is a video editing software, it's going to take a load on your RAM and also your CPU cores. So make sure to, turn off other softwares if you have already turned on, so that you don't work on it at the same time. Because if you have a mid-end or a low-end device, you will face a couple of stutters. So make sure to turn it off and you will get the smoothest performance and you will get the most optimized state of, the, working experience. So if you still have any confusion or any question about any part of the lesson, feel free to ask me. I'm always there to help you up. So without any further ado, let's move on to our first class, of social media video editing by using Adobe Premiere Pro.